Connecting with community experts. We're connecting with you. This is Connect by 3 News.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to 3 News Connect. Our goal, of course, is to keep you connected right now. And for the next 30 minutes, we're going to bring you all the latest on the coronavirus headlines. I'm Monica Robbins, along with Jay Crawford, reporting to you from our homes. And Jay, I understand you have some good news, something else for us to think about.
Yeah, I do, Monica. Hello to you and hello to everyone at home. It's a thing with the Cleveland Browns. Fans are very particular about what the team's uniforms look like. As you know, they've changed the uniforms a number of times over the last decade, and really none of them have been huge hits with the fans. So in that vein, the Browns have redesigned their uniforms once again, and they were scheduled to be unveiled high noon today. I'm monitoring a feed right now coming from the Cleveland Browns. It still looks like they're at least a little bit away from showing us what those uniforms look like. You see they've put a countdown on the screen now, so it's a minute and counting down before they're going to show us exactly what those uniforms look like. Monica, to give you an idea of just how big a deal this is, these uniforms have been under lock and key virtually since the design was completed. Now, there are various websites. This is how big a deal it is to fans across the country. There's various websites that have actually tried their best to get their hands on what it is these uniforms look like before the actual unveiling. One website released what they believe to be the new uniforms. This was late last week. Another website early this week released what they thought the uniforms would look like. So you can see this is at the utmost secrecy. And then over the weekend, JW, one of the executives with the Browns, the son-in-law to the Haslams, actually tweeted out an image that was darkened of what the new uniforms look like. And everybody quickly put that image into their phone apps and started lightening it to see if they could see what those uniforms look like. It's crazy espionage. Regardless of all that, they told us that these uniforms would be unveiled at exactly noon today. Now you can see the countdown clock is finally down to 0, and we're going to see what they look like together. And you can tell that the Browns have produced a pretty slick video here to go along with this. And Monica, this again plays into the idea that this is a huge deal for the fans. Keep in mind, the teams make millions of dollars off merchandise sales. So obviously they want these uniforms to look as fresh and fly as they possibly can because they love for fans of the Browns to buy these. But it's also a big deal if you can get fans in other cities to like the design so much, they plunk down a nice piece of change to buy one of these official Cleveland Browns jerseys. Still, the drama builds. They're counting down with a video right now. I'm monitoring it on a feed right here. I imagine it's going to come at any second now. But in typical fashion, the Browns are trying to build as much drama as they can. We've stayed with this about as long as we can. I'm sure as soon as we break away from it, they're going to unveil the uniforms. I promise you this, when they show us the uniforms, we will turn them around and we will show them to the anxious public. Monica, in the meantime, headlines surrounding the coronavirus in the news. What do you have?
You know, Jay, we will be back to that shortly. All right, here are the latest headlines. U.S. retail sales plummeted 8.7% in March. That is a record drop as the coronavirus pandemic closed down thousands of stores. President Trump's administration says it will halt all funding to the World Health Organization until a review is completed on what he calls mismanagement of the pandemic. And the CDC says more than 9,000 healthcare workers across the U.S. have contracted COVID-19. All right, Jay, any good luck now?
No, not yet. They're still in a holding pattern, making us wait. As I said, when they show them to us, we will show you what they look like. In the meantime, Monica, other stories related to the COVID-19 pandemic. Cash from the federal government is expected to be deposited directly into bank accounts of millions of Americans today. In fact, 80 million Americans are expected to get their stimulus money by the end of business today. And that is much needed news for many folks that need this money just to get along. The money has already started flowing as the first deposits showed up in bank accounts over the weekend. The government has launched a new web portal called Get My Payment that lets you actually check in on the status of your money and when it should be arriving. We have a link right now up to that on WKYC.com. On top of this stimulus check, there's a new proposal that could mean another $2,000 per month. It was proposed by two representatives, including Ohio Democrat Tim Ryan. The proposal says the stimulus money will not be enough for many as unemployment claims continue to skyrocket. Remember, 16 million Americans currently on unemployment. That number is expected to rise later this week when the new number comes out. The money would go to people age 16 and older who make less than $130,000 per year. Families with kids would get $500 a month per child for up to 3 kids. Again, this is just a proposal at this point. The money would not be counted as income, and that's important because it means that people who depend on government assistance programs will still be able to continue getting money through those programs. Meantime, there is a new order now to help protect our first responders as they go about their essential duties. Dr. Amy Acton issuing a new order to share the names and addresses of positive COVID-19 cases when calling for dispatchers. This is so first responders can be properly protected when they are responding to an emergency.
This is very important. So for our frontline responders, remember that anyone might be carrying the disease. Even someone who has recovered can still be potentially shedding the disease.
This order will help protect our heroes as they continue saving lives. Monica?
Well, Jay, new today, the FDA gave emergency approval for 2 devices to help ease the demand for ventilators. And both of these devices have ties to university hospitals. Now, first is a pneumatic resuscitator developed by 3 local organizations. It's a mechanical breathing pump that can be used on a patient if a ventilator is not available. It was developed by the founder of MedWorks, a nonprofit that links the uninsured and underinsured with health care. Now, UH doctors helped on this project, and then the Dante Moore Company made the device from scratch. They were able to get FDA approval in just 1 week. And the next is a breathing pacing device that helps wean patients off of a ventilator. It is known as a diaphragm pacing system. And you may recall years ago, it was first used on Superman actor Christopher Reeve. He actually came to Cleveland to have it done. And the technology was developed by UH, Case Western Reserve University, and Synapse Biomedical. It involves surgery that implants small electrodes to stimulate the diaphragm. And doctors say every day you can get a patient off of a ventilator is better for that patient. Plus, it frees up ventilators for other COVID patients as well.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And at the president's daily coronavirus briefing yesterday, Cleveland Clinic president and CEO Tom Mahalovic spoke about a new program that will loan unused ventilators to hospitals in need. The clinic will be among the facilities loaning machines to help coronavirus patients.
This is a battle where we're all in together. We coordinate our efforts, share our resources, and work together as one. I'm firmly convinced that we can do a lot of good when we work together.
Dr. Mahalovic also praised Ohio for getting a jump on social distancing and scaling up testing. And nearly 800 Ohioans have sent complaints to the Attorney General about price gouging during the coronavirus outbreak. The state said it is suing one man accused of swindling N95 masks. So why haven't they busted more? Well, 3 News investigator Rachel Polanski explains it's because Ohio's current laws, well, they're just not up to snuff and they're ineffective.
From $11 eggs to $24 toilet paper.
The item that I was trying to purchase was, when I asked how much it was, they gave me double the price than what was on the item.
3 News Investigates has heard from dozens of viewers who say they've experienced price gouging over the last month.
My daughter wears 3M 9211 face masks at her work, and I normally buy a box of 10 for around $20. When I went online to buy them again, they they were marked $274 for a box of 10.
And these folks are not alone. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost says that since March 1st, his office has received 798 price gouging complaints.
It's unconscionable, it's excessive, and what they're really doing, that's not free markets at work. They are artificially exploiting a shortage.
Just today, Yost accused the man who lives in this house, Mariel Salwan, of selling 10 packs of N95 masks for $360 on eBay.
I'm a free market guy. I believe they work, but a free market is not a free-for-all.
The reason Yost says he pursued this specific case is because the extreme markup made it a violation under Ohio's Consumer Sales Practices Act. The problem with that act, Yost admits, it's tough to enforce, which is why he teamed up with 2 state senators to write what he says is a tougher law, with an emphasis on hoarding and price gouging.
I think would be the first of its kind in the country. It's not a price control law, but it's a safe market law.
And that legislation was introduced just last week. Now, if you see price gouging, report it to the AG's office and to us, because we want to know about it. I'll show you how to do that at WKYC.com. Rachel Plansky, 3 News.
All right, Rachel, thank you very much. Small businesses inside the West Side Market are catching a break during the pandemic. The city of Cleveland announced today that rent is suspended for all tenants at the shopping center through June. So no rent April, May, and June. The suspension comes as a way to help those who are facing financial hardships during the crisis. The market will also implement new social distancing guidelines. All right, fans, the wait is over. The uniforms have been unveiled, and I have to say my initial reaction is 2 thumbs up. I like them a lot. For those that were hoping for a return of the orange pants, you're somewhat disappointed because their uniform combinations do not include those old school 70s orange pants that the Browns used to wear. The color rush, the uniforms on the far right, the all brown, feature no stripes on the pants and no stripes, it looks like, on the shoulders. There is no Cleveland across the front of the jersey. Really, it is an homage to the old school Browns uniforms. The ones on the far left, the very simplistic white on white. You'll notice the stripes on the brown socks. All in all, I think fans will like this because many that didn't like the last combination thought that it veered too much away from the team's traditional uniforms. So there you have it. The new uniforms for your Cleveland Browns. You'll see them when the season begins in 2020. Not bad. Way to go, Cleveland Browns. All right, we have much more to come on 3 News Connect. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, the very latest on the coronavirus. Do stay with us.
After a serious car accident,
Ticket holders for concerts, sports, and other events that were postponed, canceled, or rescheduled were eligible for a refund. Now, only events that are canceled are refundable. The company says its refund policy for postponed events are set by the event organizers, not Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster goes on to say the company's policy on postponed events has been consistent, though its wording online has been edited for clarity. Jay?
Monica, Walmart is expanding the availability of its grocery pickup service, while some retailers are having to limit the number of customers who can use their grocery pickups. Walmart is adding hours, and here's what they're doing. The most at-risk customers are now able to pick up at 7 a.m. at select locations. Each day between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m., customers over the age of 60, as well as first responders and anyone designated high risk, can schedule their grocery pickup. WKYC and the Cleveland Indians are teaming up to help raise money for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Ohio. We're going to have special coverage beginning tomorrow, hosted by Jim Donovan. He'll be joined by the Indians skipper Terry Francona, as well as players both past and present. Sandy Alomar will help us out. Kenny Lofton will also help us out, as well as Carlos Carrasco and Shane Bieber. Should be a great event. Coverage begins at 6:30 on our website, WKYC. That's followed by the special at 7:30 p.m. That's again tomorrow, and we certainly hope you'll join us.
We all have that list of home improvement projects we need to do, and if
Welcome back to 3 News Connect. Cedar Point is making some major adjustments for its 2020 season pass holders since the start of its 150th anniversary season is delayed. Season passes will now be good through 2021. That's big news. Cedar Fair, Cedar Point's parent company, implemented the season pass extension at its other U.S. parks, including Kings Island. A new opening date for Cedar Point has not yet been announced. Well, we've heard a lot of concern about your pets and COVID-19. There is no evidence that you can get the virus from human to pet contact, but we're connecting with an expert on best practices to keep your furry friends safe.
You just have to remember the basic hygiene in general, just washing your hands, trying, as I kiss this kitty, but not like putting your animals to your face, to your mouth after you handle the animals, just making sure that you do wash your hands and use good hygiene. And it is believed that for if you are showing signs or testing positive for COVID-19, just to decrease, like when you're sneezing and coughing, decreasing your contact with the animals in general.
Makes perfect sense. Also, your pet's mental health is just as important as ours, and they can totally sense your stress and anxiety. So during this time, whether you know it or not, you're sending off signals that your pets are picking up on. You might just want to give them a little more love right now.
I really strongly believe that I've had my own pets truly feed off of my energy and respond in one way or another based on the energy that I'm feeling. So definitely utilizing your pets at this time to give you that extra comfort when you're stressed. I think it can be beneficial both for you and the pet, because like if you're stressed and, ignoring them more or not being as active with them or anything, it's going to be stressful for them. It's going to be stressful for you.
Stacy also says the intake at the Stark County Sheriff's Office has spiked. While she is unsure if it's COVID related, she stresses there is no need to give up your pet, whether you're sick or not. Monica?
Well, Jay, a new tradition in a Vermilion neighborhood comes at the end of each day, and serving as a way to keep the community feeling positive. Aiden Day plays the bagpipes every night for his neighbors. His playing is also being heard across the U.S. thanks to Facebook Live. Now, the 13-year-old says he does it to inspire medical workers and put the unity in his community. We love stories like this, so please, if you have a story you'd like to share or even just a photo spreading joy, please text it to us at 216-344-3300 because we would love to show them on the air. Stay with us. 3 News Connect is back after the break. Someone painted this outside the Galley building on West 25th Street in Ohio City. It reads, "We are in this together." A nice reminder as we continue on our path to a new normal. And we keep seeing amazing people helping their communities out right now. And earlier this month, we introduced you to a Clearview kindergarten teacher who's been distributing food and paying her front yard visits to her students. And she told Lindsay Buckingham that after the story aired, many of you became heroes too.
At a time when Amy Jackson should be surrounded by 5- and 6-year-olds, we find her alone, gathering more materials from her silent classroom as weeks of online learning stretch on.
Hi, honey. How are you?
The day before, not so quiet. Mondays in the Clearview School District are food distribution days. Familiar faces lift spirits.
Hi, how are you? I miss you. Hi, beautiful.
But sadly, there are more of them needing help.
Yesterday, we handed out 700 meals between Vincent and the high school to families, and we have about 1,800 families in our district, and we ran out of food.
Food pantries are also filling the demand, but as Jackson learned, their shelves are depleted too.
They only will give them peanut butter, beans, rice, canned foods. They are not giving milk, eggs, cheese, meat, fresh fruit, and vegetables.
That's when community heroes stepped in after seeing our first story on Jackson and the smiling faces she misses.
After the first initial newscast, a lady contacted me and said, I would like to donate $1,000 to feeding your children.
More donations have followed from Aldi's too, allowing Clearview staffers and volunteers to fill bags for 25 families with the healthy foods they are missing.
Oh, yeah, we're still out there. We're still fighting for our families.
Jackson, now not just checking in on her students, but moms and dads and grandparents too.
Are you taking care of yourself too? Okay, good.
That breaks my heart still today. Several of them broke down and cried and said, it is so hard. It's just as hard on them as it is on the children.
The lows come, but are fleeting.
Hey, my girls are there. I didn't even see you. I miss you, Michaela. Hi, Precious. How are you?
The Clearview family, physically apart for now, but united and grateful for the love that's been showered upon their community.
We are still, there's good people out there helping others. We're going to get through this together.
Lindsay Buckingham, 3 News.
And we want to see your heroes. Please send a photo and a brief description of your nominee. Just text it to 216-344-3300. We would love to share more stories like that one on the air. All right, Jay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We, of course, will be here at noon again tomorrow for 3 News Connect, and I'm sure everyone can go to our website to check out those Browns uniforms, right?
They are up. I'm anxious to see what the overall fan sentiment is on them. Again, I think they look great. Also, that's it for us today on 3 News Connect, but don't forget, 5 o'clock, I'll be along with Betsy and the entire 3 News team with What's News. That's followed, of course, by What Matters Most at 6 with Russ Mitchell and Laura Queso. Until then, we'll see you soon. Take care of each other.